Hello friends, welcome to our channel Sukoon FM, where stories brings you peace and excitement. Today we are starting our brand new thrilling tale, Secret Ghar Jamai, a story full of secrets, twists and turns that will keep you hooked till the very end. So sit back, relax and enjoy this journey only on Sukoon FM. Welcome all to the very first episode of our story today. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, make sure to do it now and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. This story will premiere every evening at 7 p.m. So don't forget to tune it. And now, without further delay, let's dive straight into the story. While coming out of the Marriage Registrations Bureau of Indore, Samar Bhardwaj was holding a small notebook in his hand. He raised his head and looked at the bright sun and muttered, I am married. From today, I am also married. He had just come out after registering his marriage and he still could not believe that he was married. He was unable to control his happiness. But then a voice seemed to put a stop to all his happiness. A cold voice echoed in his ears. We will get divorced after 4 months. And on hearing this, the expression on Samar's face changed completely. His expressions of happiness changed into anger in an instant. He said to himself angrily, what nonsense is this? Divorce immediately after marriage? What kind of joke is this? This cold voice belonged to a very beautiful girl. Milk white skin, angle like features, beautiful and fine eyebrows, and cherry red lips. Her shining eyes seemed to be talking. That girl was wearing a long white dress. Her long brown hair was spread on her whole back. Her figure was like a model. Slim waist, tall height, and her perfect figure was enough to attract boys towards her. This girl was none other than Kiara Agarwal. In those cities' number one beauty and CEOs of Agarwal Industries. Agarwal Industries' name was taken along with a big business person of Indore. She was a well known personality in the business world. She had titles like CEO of Agarwal Industries, Business Queen, and Beauty Queen. Almost all the boys and the businessmen of Indore were crazy about her beauty. 4 months ago, Agarwal Industries was on the verge of bankruptcy. Then Kiara took over the reins of the company. As soon as she took the reins of the company in her hands, Kiara changed the structure of the entire company. First of all, she removed the failed and corrupt people from the company and recruited new and capable people and revived the company. Today, that company has become worth billions. Kiara, we got married on our father's wish. Do you think he will let us get divorced? Samar Bhardwaj asked, frowning. Samar Bhardwaj's background was also not ordinary. He was the son of the richest family in the country, the Bhardwaj family. The Bhardwaj family was the richest family in the country, whose turnovers was not only difficult but impossible to find it. Samar parents went missing in the childhood due to which to become an orphan despite having parents. Then gradually the enemies who were present in his own family forced Samar to leave the house and run away. Similarly, when he ran away from home due to hunger and poverty, he becomes a contract killer and gradually he formed his own group, Shadow Group. After becoming the leader of the Shadow Group, Samar gradually becomes as the title Shadow King. He was now the boss of the underworld in the Shadow continent. However, Samar was always out of the country and he had never seen Kiara's Agarwal before. So there was no emotional connection between two. And two people who had no emotional connections. It was inevitable that they would not like each other much. So soon after the marriage, Kiara started talking about divorce with Samar. After some time, whether you like it or not, I will divorce you, Kiara Agarwal says, looking at Samar. Her beautiful face was in cold ice and there was no trace of any emotions on her face. She agreed to marry Samar Bhardwaj because her father was pressurizing her, as her father knew the truth about Samar and he wanted to make relationship with the Samar Bhardwaj family. If Kiara Agarwal refused to marry him, her father would take back Agarwal Industries from her, and Kiara had built the company with so much difficulty. So how could she let it go so easily? So she agreed to her father for now. However, Samar was no less handsome. His face was handsome, but he was wearing dirty clothes and big slippers, which reveals his poor condition. Kiara, who loved cleanness, knew by looking at him she did not like Summer at all. Her husband should be have been at least good and cleanness loving person. The thing was that Summer had only a handsome face, nothing else. Although this was the first time Kiara Agarwal had met Summer, she could still count millions flaws of Summer in just one glance. Dirty, smoke, lazy. In Kiara Agarwal's eyes, Summer did not have any good and attractive quality that could attract someone towards him. Anyway, when you don't like someone, their even action seems like poison. Kiara, don't even look at Summer and get into her BMW, started the engine and left alone Summer on the sidewalk. Summer was left alone on the sidewalk and he felt a little uncomfortable. They both had just got married, and his wife let him alone the very next moment. Go away. Do you think I am small child who can't go back alone? I will come back by bus. Samar looked at the scorching sun and above his head narrowed his eye and walked toward the bus stop located a little distance away. In short time, the bus also arrived and looking at the bus, Samar tossed a coin and that leisurely boarded the bus. He walked to the back of the bus and stopped near the only empty seat in the last row near the window. Hello, miss. Can I sit here? Summer said seemingly to the girl sitting near the empty seat. The girl was very pretty, around 23, 24 years old. She had an attractive face, a pretty nose, bright eyes, and she wearing a formal dress that accentuated her beautiful and attractive figure. Upon hearing Smart's words, the long-haired girl looked at him once and then immediately looked away and completely ignored him. This girl's name was Ira Mahajan, and she was used to all the pickup lines Summer used. Guys always use this method. They all wanted to get her attentions and make her their girlfriend. So she would just ignore people who approached her without any reason. Another showy girl, Summer front sight and they sit next to her. In fact, Summer was starting to miss the shadow continent. All the women there were very open. One look of a handsome and accomplished person like him was enough to steal their soul. Coming to Indore, Samar met two beautiful girls. One was his wife, and other was the coy girl with long hair in front of his eyes. Although she was beautiful, her coy nature turned her beauty into cruelty. Ah! Suddenly, Ira groaned. Her face, her turned pale, and expressions of pain was clearly visible on her face. She felt as if someone was pinching her stomach. She could not bear this pain, and a groan come out of her mouth. Hello, miss. What happened? Are you okay? Summer asked worriedly. My stomach is hurting, Ira said with difficulty as her forehead was covered with sweat. Only a pained expressions were visible on her previously glowing attractive face. When Summer looked carefully, he found that the area around her eyes was a little brown, and her ears were a little bit yellow. There were the symptoms of appendicitis. Miss, do you have appendicitis? Summer said, making a little face. Ira was surprised to hear this. How did you know? She asked with her beautiful eyes blinking her eyebrows. Confusion was clearly visible on her pretty face. Just yesterday, she went to the hospital and the doctor told her that she had appendicitis. The doctor advised her to check into the hospital for an operation, but she was very busy at the work and did not have time for the operation. For the sake of her career, Ira got some medicines prescribed by the doctor and quickly went to work. She did not even think that the medicine was so useless and the pain would start again in a day. Miss, the symptoms are panda like eyes, stomach pain, fever, tensions in the stomach muscles. From all these symptoms, I came to know that you have appendicitis. If you want, I can treat you. Summer said, looking into Ira's eye. There was sincerity in his eyes. He had correctly identified Ira's symptoms and wanted to treat her. He could not see such a beautiful girl in pain. It was a crime. Beautiful girls who have a sick should be taken good care of, Ira said. Seeing Summer's sincere look, her lips slightly pouting, she decided to trust him temporarily. Okay, how will you treat me? Of course, the reason she trusted Summer, apart from his sincere eyes, was also because the symptoms of appendicitis he described were very similar to the symptoms described by the doctor. Don't worry, it will take just a little time, Summer said to her with a slight smile, so that she would be less worried about not afraid. Without wasting any time, Summer took out of his 9 silver needles and using the 9 needles of faith technique, he immediately inserted the needles into Ira's appendix. Since it was acupuncture, Summer was touched Ira's body, her body was really perfect. Summer could give her a 99% rating just by looking at the beauty on her feet. And the only reason they were not perfect was because she was wearing stinky socks. As he touched Ira's milky white legs, he felt like he was touching a cotton doll that would break as soon as he touched them. He said to himself, she is so beautiful. The guy who becomes her boyfriend will be very lucky. Look like this guy has something else in mind. Is he trying to take advantage of me? Thinking all this, Ira's face turned red, and shame and her eyes also looked like rose flower, completely red. Her beautiful pupils lowered in shame. This was the first time she had come so close to the guy. She felt a little numb, and her heart felt like something was jumping inside her. Hello, mister. What are you doing? Do whatever you want to do quickly. I can't bear the pain anymore. Fix it quickly, Hera said softly. Her eyelids were trembling with pain. She didn't think Summer would be able to treat her. She had already considered Summer a loafer in her mind. She had really misunderstood Summer. He was trying to find the right acupuncture point, and that's why it seems as he was trying to touch Ira's here and there. Sorry, I was little distracted, Samar said hesitantly, and then smiling he moved his right hand forward. He slowly inserted the needle into her acupuncture point about 1.5 inches, and then, stopping, he slowly rotated the needle. He knew that appendicitis attack is caused by eating cold food. That is why he moved the needle in such a way that it could be energizing the body and clear the meridians and increase blood flow to drive away the cold. After Summer's treatment at the acupuncture point, the cold that accumulated inside Ira's body slowly came out and her pain slowly disappeared. Iraz thanked Summers shyly and said, "Thank you, mister. I am fine now." She was thanking him from the bottom of her heart, but at the same time, she was also feeling shy because Summer had touched here and there, and girl would feel shy. Summer said seemingly, "It's okay," seeing his innocent smile. Ira's heart started beating fast again. Then Summer smiled and said to Ira, "Miss, you have just told me your name. It seems you still don't believe me." Iraz don't know, blushed a little and said, "Oh, sorry. My name is Ira Mahajan and yours?" Summer put back his acupuncture needle and said, "I am Samar." And then, praising Iraz, he had said, "By the way, let me tell you one thing. Your name is very cute." Ira asked softly with innocence, "What do you do? Are you a doctor?" She had started liking the handsome boy sitting in front of her. Summer's understanding of acupuncture at such a young age she had impressed. Summer scratched his head in embarrassment and replied to Ira, "No, I am not a doctor. I am an unemployed person." Innocence was visible in his eyes. Actually, Summer had just returned to Indore. She had no go to any job yet. So he told that truth that he was unemployed. Ira said seemingly, "Thank you for treating me. This is my business card. If you need any work, you can call me." She gave the business card to Summer and then immediately got up. She had already reached the place where she worked. So she had to get up and from here. She looked at Summer once again with a smile and said, "Thank you once again, Mr. Summer. My stop has come. I am leaving." Ira still wanted to talk to a handsome boy, but her stop had come and she was getting late on her duty. So she had to get down and go. "Agarwal Industries," says Department Director Ira. Summer saw the white business card on her hand and was a little shocked. He has not expected that the beautiful girl he had met would be one higher post in the company, and that too not a small post but the director of the sales department. Summer put Ira's business card in his pocket and sat down with his eyes closed. By now he was a little disturbed. Obviously, he was still in shock about his marriage. 20 minutes later, the bus reached Nipania Palace. Summer stood up and got off the bus. Nipania Palace was the most luxurious residential area of the Indore city. The name itself indicates that many famous people of the city, rich families, elite professionals lived here. Mostly there were three-story private villas with important furniture, personal garden and swimming pools. Kiara Agarwal also had a villa there, villa number 13. Now when Summer had returned to the city today, he did not have any house to live in. So he came to Kiara's villa to stay with her. Although Samar's family was one of the richest family in India, he was abandoned by his family since childhood after his parents went missing. And even today, if his grandfather was not there, he would never have. Hi guys, welcome to our channel Sukoon FM English. Now we are at third part of our story, Secret Live in Son-in-Law. How was the story? Please write comment and also share with your friends. If you see first time, please subscribe our channel Sukoon FM. Let's start our story. Although Samar family was one of the richest family in India, he was abandoned by his family since childhood after his parents were missing. And even today, if his grandfather was not there, he would never have agreed to come back and marry Kiara. But no matter how rich his family was, he had nothing to do with it. He never thought of going back to that selfish family. Summer was now outside Kiara villa. He opened the door and entered inside. As soon as he entered, he saw Kiara reading a professional book very attentively. When Summer looked closely, he found out that the book Kiara was reading was related to jewelry and its authenticity. Although Kiara Agarwal was at home, she had still not changed his clothes and she was still in her office outfit. Her beautiful face was shining in the light of the bulb, just like diamond, a wonderful ideal created by God. Her figure was also very good. Slim waist, leg longs, deer-like eyes from which it was difficult to take eyes off. Summer knew that both Kiara Agarwal's face and figure were very attractive. But the sad thing that was Kiara a little arrogant and proud. But still Summer said to Kiara with a light smile, "Honey, I am back." Kiara Agarwal put down her book as soon as she heard him and looked at him. Her gaze was so rude as if she was looking at a stranger, which made Summer feel very uncomfortable. Summer said to himself, okay, you don't like me, but since we are married and I am your legal husband, what is the point of looking at me like such a stranger? Then Kiara broke his thought and said, "My room is on the second floor. Yours is on first floor. Don't come up." There was the summer harshness in her voice as in her eyes. Summer immediately understood that Kiara was trying to keep a distance from him, trying to suppress trying to suppress the dissatisfactions in his heart. He asked, "Honey, we are married. We should not we sleep together." Today is the first day of their marriage, and this was their suhagrat. They should have slept together today. What was marriage of? Broadly speaking, it was to move forward from generation to generation and especially to support each other. Husband and wife always lived together in a same room and is the voice was the biggest truth in the world. But now Samar's wife was going to sleep in another room on the very first night of marriage. What does the mean? Is she refusing to sleep together? Kiara replied to him, "If you came to my room, I will kill you." Saying this, she went upstairs and did not even look back at Samar. Samar stood there and kept looking at beautiful back to his living wife. He was a complete stranger to Kiara, despite being married. Kiara did not feel anything to him as far as sleeping together is concerned. It was unless to even think about it. On the other hand, Kiara kept a scissor with her as soon as she went to her room, so that if Summer come inside, she did not have any problem if he dare his come inside. She will put the scissor in his stomach. Summer said while going towards his room on the first floor. "It's very cold." Although Kiara was a beautiful girl, it only mattered if she also liked him. If she did not love him, then he also did not want to travel her. Sleeping separately was not a big deal. All he could think about was that he had married a piece of wood. However, Summer still felt a little disappointment and uneasy. Who can understand the sadness and desperations of a king? His parents had disappeared when he was young. His relatives did not care about him at all, and they even bullied and mocked him, except for his grandfather. At the age of 8, he was brought abroad by a mysterious old man. He was then taught martial art and acupressure skill and even formed a group called the Shadow Group. Eventually, he proved to be the most powerful person in the Shadow continent and earned the title of Shadow King, making him the king of the underworld in that continent. He thought that his life would now be comfortable and peaceful after marriage, but it seemed like he was just dreaming. This girl was the one of his grandfather and has arranged for him to marry before he died. That girl did not have any feelings for him. Leaving alone feelings, she was treating him like a stranger. Samar entered his room and found that the room was very big and the whole room was filled with Italian furniture. Everything was well decorated. The wall was painted white, king size wooden bed, a big wardrobe for clothes and shoes. Apart from this, there was also a computer. Wow, computer! This is a good thing. He can keep in touch with the shadow group through it. He immediately turned on the computer and entered the password. Then he reached a secret chat room. At first, no one was online in the chat room, but then suddenly a big shadow appeared. Later, a fair girl with blue eyes appeared online in the chat room. It was a foreigner girl. She had a high nose, fair skin, and red lips. And then a cold, best shaped figure appeared. Any boy would be ready to die to get a look at her. The blonde girl licked her lips and spoke in seductive English. Your Majesty, the Shadow King, you finally contacted me. I miss you so much. Summer smiled and asked in fluent English. Alice, is everything in the Shadow Group fine? Alice was one of the most loyal members of the Shadow Group. Summer trusted her blindly. Alice complained like a disappointed wife. Nothing is right here. We don't understand why you left the Shadow Continent without telling us. I heard that you returned home and got married. Is that true? She had a crush on her Shadow King for a long time. But now that he got married and she is disappointed. Summer replied to her by saying, I am sorry, Alice. It was my grandfather's last wish. So I had to get married. He explained to Alice because he knew how she felt for him. This girl was a complicated character. She was not only strong in martial art, but her background was also incredible. It was here that she was walked into the royal family of the Tiger Continent. She became the most loyal follower of the Shadow King as she once saved his life. Alice asked Summer, can I see your wife? I wonder how beautiful she is that she can be win heart of our Shadow King. Alice raised her lips. She still did not seem ready to give up and wanted to see Kiara Agarwal. Summer replied to her, Alice, she has already slept. I will show you some other day, okay? Alice said in disappointed voice. Okay, dear Shadow King. Coming to the point, Summer asked, Alice, is there anything going on with the other six Shadow Kings lately? Alice replied, Dear Shadow King, I hear that Tiger King has gone to Indore. I think he must to coming to you. You have to be careful. Summer said softly. Oh, Tiger King was already come to Indore. He furrowed his brow in surprise. There were 7 continents on earth and each continent had a king. The king was the most powerful person in that continent. Samar was the king of the Shadow continent and Tiger King was the lord of the Tiger continent. There was a deep conflict between the two and they were sworn enemies. What will do Samar now? If you enjoy the story, please like it, share it and do a favorable comment. Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to Sukoon FM channel. If you visit the Sukoon FM channel first time, please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. And if you like secret son-in-law story, please like the video and do a very beautiful comment. Today we start fourth part of the story. So let's begin the story. Samar was the king of the Shadow continent and the Tiger King was the lord of the Tiger continent. There was a deep conflict between the two and they were seen swords enemies. Alice smiled seductively, licking her tongue over her lips and said, Dear Shadow King, I have learned a new technique. Do you want to see it? Alice was not going to give up. Even if Summer was married, she would win Summer back from that woman. Summer blood boiled when he saw Alice's attractive look in the video chat and he almost said that. Yes. But he still controlled himself and stopped saying yes. He scolded Alice and said, Little devil, next time I see you doing all this, I will punish you. Summer said quickly and immediately closed the chat. It seemed he could still hear Alice's charming laughter. He knew Alice's charm very well. If he were in the Shadow Continent now, he would definitely fall for her charm. Summer suppressed the fire in his heart, took a warm bath, and went to bed. Summer should angrily. Tiger King, where are you running? Wait, saying this. He suddenly opened his eyes, jumped out of the bed in the sleep, and threw a powerful punch forward. Dhamaka. As soon as the punch landed, the glass table in front of him instantly broke into millions of pieces. The table was made of tempered glass and could withstand a force of 250 kg. His eyes opened suddenly with the sound of the table breaking. Summer smiled, looking at the broken table. He had forgotten that he was no longer in the Shadow Continent, he was now in Indore. The Tiger King was the biggest enemy. He was dreaming that the Tiger King had come to kill him. In the dream, the Tiger King had secretly entered Indore and a fight to the death was about to take place then. That's why he punched the Tiger King. But because it was a dream, his punch hit the table and it broke, and his dream also broke. He had now regained consciousness and started sketching his head, pretending to be red and with shame. Now that he realized that he was in Indore, he said to himself, Hmm, I have to keep in mind that I am in Indore now and not in the Shadow Continent. Saying this, he shook his head and went near the window and started looking outside. Seeing the sun outside, he whispered, Wow, the sun is shining brightly. It seems I got a plate. Summer closed his eyes and looked at the shining sun. Then he quickly went toward the washroom. He freshened up and took a bath and got ready for changing his clothes. At that time, outside in the hall, Kiara Agarwal was having breakfast on dining table. Her breakfast was simple, just fresh fruit and glass of milk. Usually a housekeeper, Maya, used to stay in the villa, but now she had some family problems. So she had to take a few days leave. and go to her home. That's why Kiara was taking only fruits and milk for breakfast because she did not know how to cook. Kiara Agarwal's face was delicate and attractive. Her red lips were a little playful. She was looking very beautiful today. On the other hand, when Samar got ready and came out, his stomach started rumbling. He started going towards the kitchen to eat due to hunger. While going towards the kitchen, he saw Kiara sitting on the dining table and drinking milk. He went to the kitchen and saw that there was nothing to eat. He looked everywhere in the fridge, but there was nothing there. He did not even find milk. Maybe it was the last glass of milk that Kiara had drunk. The maid of the house, Maya, was not at home, so there was no one buy grocery items. Samar thought of going out to eat something and got ready to go. But when he touched his pocket, a strange expression appeared on his face. Since he had just come to Indore and did not have any job, he didn't have any money. He had come to Indore without any preparations. He came out of the kitchen and came near to the dining table. He saw Kiara drinking milk. He touched his nose awkwardly and said, Hmm, honey, can I borrow some money for you? To be honest, it was weird for him to borrow money from a woman, especially when she was his wife. Kiara looked at him with disgust and said in a hateful tone, You eat my food, live in my house. I even paid for our wedding. Still, how dare you ask me for money? Kiara Agarwal frowned and looked at Samar with cold eyes. Her beautiful eyes were filled with disbelief. You are the heir of the Bhardwaj family. Your family has property worth more than 100 billion. But you are asking me for money? Are you joking? Kiara said, mocking him. Samar did not take much offense to her words, and he again said politely, Dear, can you lend me 100? I will return you 200 tomorrow. Samar was very hungry. Yes, the Bhardwaj family had property worth crores of rupees, but unfortunately, it was not Samar's and he had nothing to do with it. That is why today he only asked Kiara Agarwal for money because he had no option. A penny can something better, even a hero. Sometimes one has to bow down to circumstances. Kiara replied to him saying, I am not giving you a single money. If you want money, go and find a job. She looked at Summer coldly. Then she stood up and walked out. He had absolutely no respect for lazy people who have no respect, self respect. Kiara still had to go to work and she had no time for this man. Samar was very sad to hear this. He muttered to himself, I am the Shadow King, and the world is afraid of my name. But this girl keeps looking down to me for no reason. Samar was disappointed. Then, after standing disappointed for a while, he said to himself, I can't die for hunger like this. I have to find some job. Samar went back to his room and wore his como clothes and went out. But getting a job was not easy. He went to a few companies but all rejected him. Indore was an international city with a good economy and a large population. There were many companies in the city, but the recruitment process for the companies were very strict. They required a PhD or master's or graduate degree at least. Finally, he found a company that did not require a degree, but it was a technical company that asked for a 3 years and last 1 year of the work experience from the applicants. Samar went to a dozens company but did not get a job anywhere. He mattered to himself. Damn it. If anyone in the shadow group finds out that no company is ready to give me a job, I will be a joke for everyone. Thank God no one saw me. He felt happy in this hut. Oh, it's very hot. Samar Bhardwaj said to himself and started walking on the streets. Samar kept looking for a job on the streets in the scoring sun. He had not had breakfast. If he did not get a job, he wouldn't able to eat lunch either. What will Samar do next? To find out, keep listening to Secret Son-in-Law, Shadow King. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hello friends, welcome to the story Secret Son-in-Law, Shadow King. How was the story? If you enjoy it, like it and do a valuable comment for this story and for mine. I am Mandi from India. If you love the story, please share it with your friends. Today we start part 5. Let's begin. Samar kept looking for a job in the street in the snoring sun. He hadn't had breakfast. If he didn't get a job, he wouldn't be able to eat lunch either. Then he saw a poster placed under a 20-floor high-rise building in front of him. Boys and girls needed for sales, aged between 20 to 40 years, healthy and good looking. Free board and lodging, insurance and leave including. Summer's eyes lit up. This ad was posted by Agarwal Industries. It was a large corporation within Indore, worth a few hundred million. Summer looked at the building with hopeful eyes and said to himself, let's try our luck in the company too. Summer smiled a little and walked towards the building. He saw in the ad that Agarwal Industries had taken the first to third floors in the building. The rest of the floors was taken by other companies. Summer walked 7 to 8 meters and found that there were 10 and more people in the line. They too had come there for a job. Everyone had to fill a form and then go to the room for the interview. He took a form and wrote his name, age, height, and other necessary information. He was filling the form when a fat man behind him suddenly tapped him on a shoulder and winked at him and asked, Bhai, you have also come here for Kiara Agarwal? Samar furrowed his eyebrows and slightly and asked in confusion, what do you mean? The fat man stared at Samar with surprised eyes and said, Bro, stop pretending Kiara Agarwal is the number one beauty of Indore. Most of the boys are here because of her. Are not you are the same? The fat man kept looked at him with disdain. His thought Samar was being dishonest. Samar smiled and said nothing. Kiara Agarwal was his wife. What was need for him to come here after it? But he didn't expect that the job he was applying for was actually in his wife's company. Enemies often got in each other way. Samar frowned and wanted to leave. He didn't want to work in his wife's company. If would be really awkward if they met. Next 19 Samar Bhardwaj. Samar was about to leave when he heard a sweet and clear voice. While he was taking to the fat man, the first 10 people had finished their interview. Now it was his turn. A pretty girl pushed Samar into the interview room. When he walked into the room, he smelled a light fragrance. He raised his head and saw a beautiful girl with long hair looking at him in surprise. It's you, both of them said together. Their eyes were full of disbelief and some confusion. The long haired girl was Ira Mahajan. Ira Mahajan's face turned red and sweet glow on of redness appeared on her eyes. She initially thought that they would never meet again. She didn't not expect that they would meet again so soon. It seemed as if fate also wanted to meet. But when she thought about what had happened on the bus, she was still embarrassed and her heart was pounding. She was like a very confused girl who had just fallen in love. She had a good impression about the young man standing in front of her. Iraz took a deep breath and tried to suppress the shyness in her heart. She opened her mouth and asked Samar, "Have you come for job?" Samar also asked in surprise. "Yes, are you an interviewer here?" Ira also smiled at him and said, "Yes, I am the director of the sales department. I am taking interviews for recruitment for the sales department." Oh, Samar Bhardwaj nodded and understood. He suddenly remembered the business card that Ira Mahajan had given him on the bus. It read Agarwal Industries Sales Department Director. He had forgotten such important information. Then Ira started interviewing Samar. Her red lips opened a little and she directly asked the first question to Samar. "Do you have any job experience?" Samar looked very beautifully when she moved her soft lips to ask the question, and she was radiating an attractive aura, due to which everyone was feeling attracted to her. Samar smiled and answered the question. "I don't have any job experience, but I can learn any work very quickly." He was the Shadow King whose main job was to kill people. As far as doing a job and working under someone is concerned, what is this nonsense? What was the need for him to do a job? Hira raised her eyebrows and, after hearing the answer, and said, "No experience." Well, wrinkles started appearing on her beautiful forehead. If other people said this, she would have driven them away. But Samar Bhardwaj was different. She decided to give him a chance. Samar was a good person. He had helped him without any greed. So he gave Samar another chance and asked the next question. "No problem. You tell me. Why do you want to work in Kiara Agarwal industry?" Samar smiled and innocently replied, "To fill my stomach. I saw on the poster outside that this company is providing food accommodations along with the job. That's all." While saying this, he saw the expressions on Ira's face. She was staring at him with strange eyes. Seeing him staring like this, Summer asked innocently, "Isn't that true?" Ira was speechless after hearing this. She stopped staring at Summer and looking down at her file said, "No, no, that is absolutely true." Saying this, she said to herself, "So he has come to here for free meal." Then, thinking a little, he asked the next question. "Do you know what product Agarwal Industries makes? What does it deal in?" Samar Bhardwaj frowned a little. As far as he knew, Agarwal Industries was a jewelry company. So he cautiously answered Aira's question. "Agarwal Industries deals in jewelry." Ira patted her white forehead and rolled in her eyes again. She thought to herself, "Hey, where have you come from? You crazy guy. Agarwal Industries is the biggest and most famous jewelry company in Indore. But looking at you, it seems you don't know anything about it." She did not have much hope left after summer, but she asked him her next question. "Okay, tell me which four type of spear are most in demand in India." Ira stroked her hair and smiled directly and charmingly while asking professional questions. Although she had a crush on Summer, this was an interview. She was the head of the sales department and had some responsibility towards this company, and she fulfilled her responsibility well. That's why she asked the question. Agarwal Industries was a jewelry company which mainly made diamond, ruby, spare, emerald, and gold jewelry. If Summer could not answer the question, that no matter how question good or the opinion of Ira about him was, she wouldn't not be able to hire him. This had nothing to do with personal life. Even if she had a crush on Summer, she would not be able to betray her profession. She was very honest toward her work. But this question was very simple for Samar. He looked at Ira's smile and lightly in confidence. He used to roam around the big auction houses around the world and studies jewelry and antiques in depth. So he smiled and answered Ira's question. India has four types of spear: Kashmiri spear, Burmese spear, Ceylon spear, and Australian spear. Hearing this question, Ira's eyes lit up. She now understood that the boy sitting in front of her understood spear very well. But in Ira's mind, some confusions are also driven. What will do Ira's Mahajan? Can she hire him or not? Find out in the next episode. Until then, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment on the video. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do. Hello, friends. How are you? Hope you are all well. Welcome to our channel Sukoon FM English. Today we listen episode number 6 of Shadow King. If you enjoy the story, please like, share, and comment in blue. Let's start episode number 6. Shapier was the main product of Kiara Agarwal's industry. It was sold not only in the country but also abroad. To become a good salesman, one had to know every type of spear from inside to outside. Then Iraz took out a piece of spear and placing it in front of Samar asked, "Looks at this. Which spear is this?" With just a glance, Samar Bhardwaj recognized the quality of the piece of the spear. He immediately replied, "This is silent spear." Then Ira's red lips rose a little and she asked her next question. "Why is this silent spear? Not something else?" Samar immediately replied, "Of the four famous spear, silent spear come from Sri Lanka and come in light of the medium blue color, with some having grey tines and the same grey color is visible in this. Burmese spear come from the Magok region of Myanmar and known for their deep royal blue color. Kashmiri spear which are obtained from the region of Kashmir are known for their excellent charity. Australian spear, on the other hand, come in a variety of colors, including deep blue with a mix of green. That's why it is silent spear." The people in the room were surprised to hear Sumar's answer. This man knew too much more about the spear. Even some of the people working in this company did not know this much. Hearing this answer, Ida stood up from her place. A glow appeared on her beautiful face. She smiled happily and said, "Congratulations, your job is confirmed." He felt that the man sitting in front of him would definitely do something big for this company. He had a better understanding of Neelam than him. Wow! Hearing Iraj talk about the job, Summer had a sign of relief. Now that he had got the job, the lunch problem was resolved. For him, his biggest hope now was to have a good meal. Smiling lightly, Iraj said to the beautiful girl sitting next to her, "Prachi helped Summer get registered in the sales department. Also explained to him everything about his work in the department." Ira was still talking interviewed, so she said to give the responsibility to Summer to Prachi. Usually, whenever anyone was hired, it took 1 or 2 working days to start work. Ira knew that Samar had not eaten anything yet, probably because he didn't have money. To help Samar, she opened the back door so that he couldn't start work today. Prachi Desai smiled softly and said, "Yes, director," and took Samar with her to the second floor, the sales department. This was the same girl who had pushed Samar in the interview room when he was trying to escape. The girl was very beautiful. She had big, bright eyes with were very attractive and fair white skin. She looked like a very clay doll. She was wearing a light blue skirt. Under the skirt were long legs as white as snow, which were very attractive. Samar couldn't stop himself from looking at her again and again. There were so many beautiful girls in India, whether it was Kiara, Ira, and Prachi Desai in front of him. They were all on top. Samar said in his heart he knew that his future would definitely be colorful. Then Prachi explained in detail about the salary and treatment. The monthly base salary of the sales department is 88,000, which is affected by attendance. We also provide basic ESI insurance and PF, along with year end bonus and dividends. Also, you get 5% commission on every piece of jewelry you sell. 8,000 monthly salary was not much, but don't forget, there was year end bonus and dividends, and most important, commission. To get a higher salary, you just have to sell one more jewelry, which is the aim of the sales department. When Prachi finished, they had reached the second floor of the sales department. The sales department had an important place in the company. The company made products for the purpose of sale. Only by selling the products could then they earn a large amount of profit. If things were not sold, people could remain hungry. Prachi told the dozens and the so people in the room, "Hey, this is Samar Bhardwaj, our new collegius in the sales department." On hearing Prachi's words, everyone clapped a little and went back to their work. It was obvious that they were not interested in the new colleges. Looking at the people, it was evident that they were not bothered by Samar's arrival. Then Prachi said, "I'm sorry, they all are very busy." Her pretty face turned red and embarrassment. Samar waved his hand and told Prachi not to worry. "It doesn't matter. When I work with them for a few days, everything will be fine." She knew he was no. The dozens or so salespersons in the front of her, male or female, were experienced in the cooperation. Naturally, they had to keep a new employee out of their group, fearing they would take away their sales. Then Prachi said, "Number 19 is your workplace. There are procedures and protocols. Familiarize yourself with them. If you don't understand something, ask me." Prachi dropped her at the desk number 19, left with a gentle and graceful personality. A computer, a cup of tea, newspaper. The place was nice. She found that the other salespersons were collecting customer information, including their personality, expertise, and hobbies. Knowing both their product and customer will help sell the jewelry easily. Of course, some sell girls in order to win our customers. Something sacrifice their charm and give those customers a percentage of the discount. Since Summer was a novice, he had no customers. He could only start from the beginning. He smiled, pick up some documents laying near the desk and start reading. He read very fast. He remembered all the work done in the department in just 10 minutes. The job of the sales department was very simple. Simply put, it was to sell jewelry. Of course, selling jewelry at a high price was not easy. Generally, three, there are three aspects. First, understanding the nature and functions of the jewelry. Second, understanding the need of the customer and their purchasing power. Third, providing excellent product and customer service. By achieving these aspects, selling jewelry at high price was not very difficult. Agarwal Industries sold high-end jewelry, targeting a large customer base that belonged to the wealthier class. The most common jewelry could cost millions of rupees, while the most expensive jewelry could cost crores or even billions. Just then Prachi came up to the Summers and said, "It's afternoon. Let me take you to the cafeteria." She was blinking her big eyes, and they were particularly attractive. She knew that this young boy who had just joined work today would not know where the cafeteria was. From what she saw in director Ira Mahajan eyes, it seems that she knew this boy from before, since Ira had entrusted Samar to her. Prachi definitely had to take care of him. Besides, Samar, good looks also made a good impression of her. The only drawback of there was wearing messy clothes, which made him look lazy and careless. Samar looked at Prachi and said, "Thank you. I am very hungry too." He stood up, touching his empty stomach. This girl seemed like a nice person. She not only explained how the company works but also took him to the cafeteria. Samar somehow liked this girl. There was a cafeteria on the first floor of Agarwal Industries, with more than 10 windows serving North Indian foods, South Indian foods, Chinese food, and the Thai food, along with the many other delicious. As soon as they stepped into the cafeteria, a dirty, careless guy named running towards Prachi and Samar excitedly with a bunch of roses and asked Prachi, "Hey Prachi, are you coming to eat it?" Of course, this was one of the Prachi's followers. It was understandable that beautiful girls have many such followers. Prachi angrily told the boy, "Pranav, I have told many times. You should call me by my full name. Prachi, you can only call me my friend, not me." The boy's name was Pranav, and it was clear from Prachi's face that she was not happy to see Pranav in front of her. Obviously, she was upset with this ill tempered boy. Pranav extended the rose in his hand towards Prachi and said excitedly, "Prachi, these roses are for you. Please be my girlfriend." He had liked Prachi for a long time and today he finally proposed to Prachi with a rose. But Prachi frowned and refused him straight away, saying, "Sorry, I already have a boyfriend." She knew that Pranav was a playboy and she would definitely not fall in love with such a man. She was a good girl who liked responsible and mature boys. Who was the Prachi's boyfriend? Find out in the next episode. Until then, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment on the video. And if you have not subscribed the channel yet, make sure you do. Hi friends, welcome to our channel Sukoon FM English. If you visit the channel first time, please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Tomorrow we listen Prachi frowned and refused him straight away because she knew the Pranam was a playboy and she would definitely not fall in love with such a man. She was a good girl who liked responsible and mature boys. Now today we listen 7th episode of The Secret Son-in-Law Shadow King. Let's start. Pranav shook his head and denied, for her said, "You are lying that you have a boyfriend. If you had a boyfriend, I would have known." Pranav and Prachi both worked in the sales department and met each other every day. But he had never seen her boyfriend. Prachi pointed to Samar standing next to her and said, "This Samar Bhardwaj is my boyfriend." Prachi deliberately called Samar by the senior Bhardwaj so that Pranav would give in. On hearing Prachi's words, Samar stared at her and both thought to himself, "Why is she making me a scapegoat?" Because he didn't expect Prachi to use him like this. But since he had received a lot of help from Prachi, he got a chance to return Prachi's favor and also didn't think Pranav was a good person. He let such a beautiful girl get ruined because of ugly frog. Just then Pranav looked at Samar suspiciously and asked, "Hey, who are you? Have never seen you before." He was sure that he had never seen this man. Where did he come from? Did he even dare to snatch Prachi from him? Samar looked into his eyes and said, "My name is Samar, and today is my first day in the sales department." Pranav said to him in a threatening tone, "Samar, right. Do you know who I am?" Samar looked at him casually and said, "Who are you? And whoever you are, what do I have to do with it?" Saying this, he started to leave from there. Pranav again said to him in a threatening tone, "Hey, listen, I am the manager of the sales department, and I am also your senior, understand?" Today he had gone out of the company from somewhere, so he did not know that Samar had gone to the sales department. Frowning his eyebrows, Samar whispered, "Sales manager?" Since she had just checked the structure and organizations of the company, she knew that most of the work in the company would be handled by manager, apart from Ira, who was the acting director. He couldn't believe that the dirty, slovenly young man sitting in front of her was the manager of the sales department. The saying was true, people use their strength to intimidate others. And that's what Pranav was doing right now. However, Samar was not going to be intimidated by him. He was Shadow King. Just then Prajit said to Pranav, "Mr. Pranav, if you have no other work, have you can leave." She tried to send Pranav away as she as was afraid that her life would land Samar in trouble. But Pranav made another attempt and said, "Prachi, I know you are lying. He is not your boyfriend. Just be my girlfriend, okay?" Prachi frowned her eyebrows, saying that Samar was still not giving in. She decided to give him a big blow to stop his suborn. She went close to Samar, stood on her toes, and kissed him on the cheek. Even though it was just a normal kiss, Prachi's face turned red like red wine out of embarrassment. Her heart was beating madly like butterflies in her stomach. This was the first time she was gotten so close to a guy. Samar couldn't say anything. He stood there hiding and touched her cheek, even though he was a complete badass. He still felt embarrassed by the kiss he just received. Pranav stuttered angrily and pointed towards Prachi. You! His face turned pale and all the anger was visible on his face. He didn't even been able to hold Prachi's hand after following her for so long, and now she kissed a stranger so easily. Pranav was furious, but Pranav did not dare to take his anger out of Prachi. Now the only scapegoat would be Samar. Pranav looked at Samar with disdain and shouted angrily, "Stay away from Prachi. A man like you are not worthy of beautiful like her like Prachi." Since Samar was dressed shabbily, Pranav assumes that he was a poor man who was completely different from him. A sales manager who earns a monthly salary of more than 20,000 is bound to be a poor salesperson with a salary of just 8,000. But Samar laughed at Pranav and said jokingly, "Pranav, the beautiful girl you were talking about has just kissed me. Are you jealous of that?" Pranav also said angrily, "I guess you don't know what I can do. I can throw out of the sales department you." There was a feeling of jealous in his eyes. But then Samar said something which made Pranav even more angry. He said, "You have kidney problems and erectile dysfunctions. Be carefully about your life as you will soon become impotent." Samar saw that Pranav's face was turning pale. His eyes was getting darker and his legs were getting heavy, which was the symptoms of the impotence. According to TCM, impotence is a deficiency caused by kidney problems. Samar looked up Pranav from the top to bottom and thought to himself, "This boy must be hanging out with girls too much, which has ruined his health." All these problems were personal. Samar had spoken everything out in the open without thinking. But since Pranav was threatening him, he decided to take advantage of his weakness. Samar repeated himself, "You have erectile dysfunction." Pranav got more angry when Samar told him about his weakness in front of everyone. This disease is the biggest fear of man. It was very humiliating. When Pranav see his secret being revealed in front of everyone, he shouted in anger, "Stupid, you will die now. I will throw you out of the sales department." But Samar did not care about this threat. He again mocked him and said, "Prachi, let's have lunch. Leave this lazy man alone." After looking at Pranav, he went with Prachi to the number of one counter in the cafeteria. Then Prachi apologized to Samar and said, "Mr. Samar, I am so sorry. You also got into trouble because of me." Prachi was blaming himself for Samar. She knew that Pranav was the head of the sales department while Samar was a new employee. Now she has made Pranav angry too. He will definitely get into trouble. But Samar smiled and tried to console her and said, "Don't worry, that man will not throw me out." Samar wanted to help this beautiful girl just because she had helped him a lot till now. In fact, Pranav had a lot of authorities in the company as a sales manager. But Samar had his wife, who was the CEO of the company. He also knew that Ira, the director of the sales department, would not let Pranav do this. If Pranav tries to throw it out, she would definitely stop him. Prachi Desai bought two balls of rice with some good paneer and roti. Although food was available free in the company, but that food was not that tasty. If anyone wanted to eat food, then he had to buy it. Today, Prachi has bought food because she felt sorry for Samar. However, Samar appetite really surprised Prachi. Not only did he eat the food for both of them, but he even bought and ate three more balls of the rice for himself. Three balls of rice. Prachi couldn't eat all day. She said to himself in surprise, "How can this boy eat so much?" Prachi Desai looked at this young handsome guy without saying anything. But she was also bothered by the fight between Samar and Pranav. Samar murmured happily, touched his stomach. What a delicious food! But when he looked up at Prachi, he became embarrassed. He thought to himself, "What must this girl be thinking of him? How can someone eat like an animal?" He used to fight so often, he had to eat a lot of food to have that strength. Also, he was angry as he had not had breakfast in the morning. Eating so much food was a completely normal thing. Prachi Desai looked at Samar with her two big eyes, warned him, "Mr. Samar, let's get back to work. You have to take care of Pranav. He can harm you anything." She still looked at a little worried. Samar replied with a smile, "Don't worry, nothing will go wrong," and went upstairs to the sales department. He did not take Pranav's threat seriously either. Will Pranav harm Samar? what will happen next. Stay tuned only on Sukoon FM English. If you are enjoying the story, don't forget to like, share, and leave a lonely comment. Hello, friends. Today I bring you episode 8 of Shadow King. How are you liking the story so far? To let us know in the comments. If you are enjoying it, don't forget to like and share. And if you are visiting the channel for the first time, make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon also. Yesterday we saw that Samar ate all of Prachi's food and then got busy working at his desk. He didn't even realize how quickly time had passed. And now let's continue the story in voice of Mandi. Let's start. Time passed. It was time for the day's shift to end. Samar put his files away and got ready to leave. He had to walk back home as he did not have a single penny left to pay for the bus fare. Suddenly, a small slip of paper floated in the air and fell on the ground in front of him. He looked around and there was no one around. Nor was there and any wind blowing for it to have flown in. So when he looked at the slip closely, he saw something written on it. He picked up Prachi and started reading. The slip read, "Please help me. My name is Suhani and I am being kidnapped and talked to and taken to Kalspa." Samar furrowed his eyebrows, holding the slip and felt something wrong going on around him. Trafficking of girls. This was the first thing that came to his mind. For some time now, it was being shown in the eye news that many girls from crowded areas were kidnapped to be sold abroad and were pushed into dirty business with customers. He did not expected that he would see all in the reality. Samar started looking for the place whose name was written on the slip, and he found a well-decorated five-story spa called Carl Spa. A warm red lights were spreading in the spa. Inside, some girls were massaging and the felt of customers wearing their short clothes. One could know that was going on inside just by looking at them. Summer was a good person and had discretion. He put the slip in his pocket and went to call spa. When Summer entered the spa, a girl with heavy makeup and yellow hair caught him and said, "Hey handsome, have you come for a massage or?" The face of this girl was very delicate and her body was visibly under her V-cut dress without was quite shiny. Someone nodded and said, I I have come to for a massage. He had to pretend deliberately. Otherwise his intentions would have been known that he had come only for Suhani. Anyway, he had experience in deadline dealing with these girls. The yellow haired girl winked at him and said in a assertive way, "Hey, handsome, we have many beautiful girls. Which one is your choice?" Summer said confidently, "Can you send Swani for me?" Summer tried to show that he used to come there daily. So he also took Suhani names as if he used to get massage for her every day. "Suhani?" The yellow haired girl looked at him with suspicious eyes and thought to herself, "This is not the new girl. Suhani had come only a few days ago, but she had not massaged any client till now. How does this boy know her? Is this boy a policeman?" The yellow haired girl shook from her thoughts and looked at Summer. Just then Summer said, "Oh, I think Suhani was not there but in another spa. If she is not here, you can send any other girl." Summer understood that this girl has become suspicious of him, so he tried to cover up. This girl could never catch Summer. The girl got convinced by Summer's words and said, You are the guest. Please go to the room first. I will send a girl for you. The girl seemingly took Samar to a closed room and went to a call Suhani. There was no window in that closed room, only a bed of a desk. Nothing could have been easier than this. The only source of light was a bulb on top, which was spreading warm light. It looked somewhat suspicious. 10 minutes later, the yellow haired girl came into the room angrily. She was angry at Suhani and she even slapped her because she refused to reduce. The yellow haired girl decided to serve Summer herself. She came to Summer and said, "Sorry, handsome, but Suhani is sick and has to take leave today. If you don't mind, can I serve you?" The yellow haired girl was holding Summer's arm and seductive eyes. Suhani is sick. Summer was disappointed. He came for Suhani today, but how could he save her if he couldn't even meet her? The yellow haired girl ignored Summer's reaction and said, "Mister, we have two massage packages. A big one for 8,000 and a small one for 3,000. Which one do you like?" Summer frowned and refused the yellow haired girl and said, "Sorry, but I don't want anyone else expect her." The yellow haired girl said a smile. "Mister, don't be shy. I am really very good. I know acupressure as well as a needle technique." She was applying oil on her hands while talking to Summer. Seeing her hurrying like this, Summer thought to himself, "What nonsense! Come to help Suhani. But who will help me now?" But then there was a loud bang. The door opened with a loud noise from outside. "Police! Police! Stop!" A lady police officer came forward shouting loudly in her uniform. She had a delicate face, shiny skin, long hair, and stature. Some of the well dressed policemen were also coming behind her. "What a beautiful policeman!" Samar muttered, looking at her, and he could not believe his eyes. Although the policewoman was wearing her uniform, her face and figure was attractive every man towards her. The yellow haired girl was the police coming and shouted and covered her face with her clothes. She was used to such things often. One advantage of covering her face was that she could avoid the eyes of the media cameras. Even after the punishment of the police, she could start her life again because no one could see her face and know what she had done before. The policewoman said to Summer, "Are not you afraid to getting a disease at such a young age?" The policewoman was preaching to Summer. She was very annoyed with such people. Some time ago, she caught a boy who was buying such a service and she made fun of him while he was custody. After that, the police woman cut off one of his hands and he is still in the hospital. Although she had a pretty face, she was a non-violent woman in the police station who even intimidated the other policemen. Samar asked her, "What are you trying to say? I don't understand anything. I didn't come here to do anything wrong. I just come here to serve some. How can you defame me like this?" The policewoman pointed to the yellow haired girl and looked at her with disdain. "How can you deny this? If you were not doing anything like that, then who is this girl?" Whenever she caught any boy, every boy tried to make similar excuse, but in front of so much evidence, they could not do much. Summer wrinkled his eyebrows and tried to fight for himself and said, "Miss, I have come to have saved someone. You can't excuse me like this." But the policewoman did not listen to him and said angrily, Do you think I am crazy? I am not known you. How can I believe you? Not only me, no one will believe you. She gestured to her colleagues and said, take everyone to the police station. As soon as she wanted her ends, 7, 8 policemen suddenly ran and took Summer and yellow-haired girl out. Just at the time when the police was taking Summer out of the spa, Pranav come in front of him. He looked at Summer and said, this is Samar. Samar, what are you doing here? Samar was shocked to see Pranav. What bad luck he had. He had not expected to face his new enemy like this. Pranav said sarcastically. Samar, what do you think Praji will think of you if I tell her that you went to this dirty spa? Hmm. Samar shouted. I come here to save a girl. Samar was still trying to convince everyone, although he knew that if would not help much. Pranav did not believe him at all. He looked at him with disgust and said, yes, keep lying. You are a liar. Then the policewoman shouted her colleagues to put Samar and the other in the car. What are you waiting for? Put them in the car. Pranav thanked God and said, oh wow, God saved me. Pranav was wiping the sweat from his forehead and looking around nervously. He was also coming to this spa, but before that the police come there. Today Pranav had sold 1 crore worth of jewelry. So he had so much money that he also come there to have fun. He didn't not expected that he would see the police at the door arresting people. If he had come to 10 minutes earlier, he would have been there and Summer was there. Just then, a police constable went to that police inspector and said in a low voice, Inspector, this time we come with 5 vehicles and we have caught 24 police peoples this time. One of those 24 people is an employee of Agarwal industry. This policewoman made a little face and said, employee of the Agarwal industry, it is a very big and famous company. Their employee has come to such place. Who is he? Tell me. Then see what kind of lesson I teach him. Then the constable pointed towards Samar and said, there he is in front. The policewoman glared at Samar and after listening to the constable and said, are you from Agarwal industry? Are not you ashamed of coming to such a place? Now see what I to do you with you. Saying this, she pulled Samar by his arm and pushed him into the police car. Then the policewoman took a deep breath and calmed herself down and sat in front of Samar and started explaining to him with a cool mind. You work in such good company. Why did you come to such a place? Don't you know how infamous this spy is? Samar rolled his eyes in disappointed. His heart was filled with sadness. The policewoman was not ready to listen to him, but still Samar tried to put his point in her front of face. Inspector Sahiba, how many times have I tried to tell you? I didn't come here to do anything wrong. Rather, I come here to save someone. Why are you not believing me? The policewoman looked at Samar coldly and said, who will believe you? Guys, who will trust Samar? What will happen next? Stay tuned with Sukoon FM to find out. And don't forget to like, share and comment and subscribe our channel. Hey everyone, welcome to Sukoon FM English. How are you all? Hope you are all okay. Today we listen episode number 8 of Shadow King story. This is the English novel story. Please, if you enjoy it, like, share and comment in comment section. Now let's start the story. The policewoman looked at Summer coldly and said, who will believe you? A look of disdain was visible on her beautiful face. She had this thought in her mind: no good man will come to a notorious place like Kalspa. Samar saw the policewoman had become silent and was not believing his words. So, to divert his attention, he stretched his body and said to the policewoman sitting next to him, "How boring this trip. Let me tell everyone a joke." On hearing his words, everyone started looking at him attentively. Then he started telling the joke. A wife says to her husband, "Hey, you don't love me, so you don't know." What the husband said that the wife got shocked. What do you think he must have said? Summer smiled a little and asked the police officer next to him. One of the policemen asked curiously, "Hey, what did he say?" At the same time, the inspector also started looking at Summer curiously and started guessing the answer. But she could not guess even after trying several times. Summer looked at the lady police officer, laughing, and said, "My husband said, hey, crazy girl, if you don't love you, then did you download these Chintu Mintu from Google?" Hearing her, the constable sitting next to her could not stop laughing and laughing loudly repeated her statement. "Did you download them from Google?" The constable further said, "This means joke was very old, but I liked it." Then the police inspector glared at Summer angrily and said, "Madman, you are very fond of telling jokes, are you not? When we reach the police station, then see how I make fun of you." Saying this, she got down from that car and went to the car behind, shaking her wrist. Actually, she did not want to sit with Summer. She was very angry. Summer was not afraid of anything. She was taking him to the police station, but he was still laughing and joking. She thought that this was her joke. When she got off the car and left, the other people in the car looked at her curiously, and one of them said to Summer, "Hey brother, you joke very well. Tell another joke please." Summer smiled proudly and said, "Okay, I will tell you guys another joke." All the girls in the shadow group liked him and he filled with many girls with his jokes. He continued telling his joke like this. Everyone was enjoying his talks and in such fun and jokes. Half an hour passed and their car reached the police station. Everyone was taken off the car and taken to the interrogation room. In the interrogation room, she sat on the desk in front of Police Inspector Summer and asked Summer in a cold voice, "Tell me your name, age, and profession." He did not have any good feelings towards the man sitting in front of him. Without hesitation, Summer replied, "My name is Samar. I am 24 years old and work as a salesperson for Agarwal industry." The policeman further asked him, "Why did you go to that place?" Samar once again said, "Why are you not believing me? I have told you so many times. I went there to save someone." Then the policewoman angrily hit the desk and said, "Don't show me the attitude such like this. Tell me straight away what you want to do. Otherwise, I will not show leniency. If you don't tell me truth, I will force to torture you." But Samar got angry at her threats. Without any fear, he said, "I did not do anything. You can't force me to say anything." His voice became a little harsh. When the policewoman sees Samar's stubborn attitude, she decided to teach him a lesson and said, "I think you will not open your mouth like this. I will have to teach you a lesson." Then the constable who had told about Samar that he is from Agarwal industry tried to keep the inspector from teaching Summer a lesson and said, Madam, someone had sent your report to ACP, sir, because you broke the leg of the rapist. ACP, sir, has strictly instructed you not to beat anyone now. He knew how short tempered their inspector was. She had sent many criminals to the hospital. Hearing this, the inspector raised the eyebrows. Her face became as cold ice. And she stared at him, constable, and said, Being your senior, I order you to leave from here. Now the constable had no choice left. He looked at Samar with compassionate eyes and said with a light smile, All the best, brother, and went out as per the orders of his senior. Just then the police inspector closed the doors and walked towards Summers with her long legs. Her eyes were filled with hatred. Summer looked at the face of the lady police officer carefully and said softly, Inspector, are you having some problem? The inspector misunderstood his words. She looked at Summer angrily. Summer was also looking at her eyes and face carefully. He wanted to help the policewoman while performing his duty. Even though the attitude of the policewoman towards him was not good. But following his principle of serving the people, he had to mention the illness of the inspector. He said once again, Inspector, I think you have some problem. The policewoman was stunned. She said in surprise, What? Where do you have any problem with me? She had met many people, but this was the first time she met an idiot like Samar, who dared to say that he was has problem. She couldn't take it anymore. She furrowed her eyebrows and shouted at Samar, You have some problem? Your whole family has some problem. Samar furrowed his eyebrows a little and his eye turned cold. He said in stem voice, How dare you bring my family into this? You can insult me, but you can't insult my parents. You have to apologize for this. The policewoman also said angrily to Samar, Oh, you want me to apologize? Absolutely not. Why should I apologize to a fallen person like you? Samar also made his voice even harsher and said, You have to apologize, otherwise, the policewoman said in a equally harsh voice. Stupid! How dare you threaten me? Now you see what I do with you. She angrily moved towards Samar. She suddenly raised her right leg to kick him. She wanted to smash his knee by hitting it. This was the right way for her to teach a lesson to a scoundrel like him. Samar instinctively brought his legs together and grabbed her leg with his right. Samar felt the beauty of the policewoman up close and her loud voice come out of his mouth. Wow, what a figure! He said this, but he immediately regretted his voice. He saw that policewoman was staring at him with a deadly gaze. Then the policewoman said in an even more angry voice, Now no one can save you from my hands. In that anger, he swung a strong punch towards Samar. Unfortunately, she was standing on one leg, so she lost her balance and fallen on Samar. Her lips collided with Samar's lips. Samar pursed her lips and teased the policewoman and said, Wow, you turned out to be very fast. I did not expect that you liked me so much that you kissed me straight away. Samar looked at her with a smile. Hearing his words, the policewoman's cheeks started turning red with shame. She cursed her fate in her mind and said, What? Kiss? That too with a bastard like you? Never. First, you stole my first kiss. And on top of that, you are telling me this? She wanted to cry. She was cursing her fate and started thinking whose face she had seen today that all this happened to her. Ever since she had seen the man, bad luck had been following her continuously. Just then, Samar heard footsteps from outside, as if someone was coming towards them. Samar was shocked. He immediately let go of the female police officer. The actions of the both of them were not very decent. The female officer still had a bright red lipstick mark on his mouth and the first kiss. She had not want anymore to see it. As soon as he let go to the policewoman, she screamed, I will kill you. After she was released from grip, she went completely crazy. Her beautiful face was filled with anger. She repeatedly hit Samar with her small hands. Friends, what will happen next? Stay tuned with Sukoon FM to find out. If you enjoy it, like, share, and comment on our story. And if you are visiting the channel for the first time, make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Hello friends, welcome to our channel Sukoon FM English. Sukoon FM English team welcomes to all of you. And if you enjoy our story, please like the video and share the video. And also comment in below comment section. Today we start and listen 10th episode of Secret Gharjamai Shadow King Secret Son-in-Law story. So let's begin. As soon as he let go to the policewoman, she screamed, I will kill you. After she was released from his grip, she went completely crazy. Her beautiful face was filled with anger. She repeatedly hit Samar with her smile hands. From her furious behavior, it seems that she wanted to kill the man who had taken away her first kiss. Just then, both of them heard a stem voice. Inspector Jia Shekhawat, whatever you are doing, stop it immediately. The door of the room opened and a stem voice was heard from a distance. After which, a tall and strong young man entered the room. As soon as the lady police officer saw the man, she quickly stood up and shuddered. ACP Mayank, how did you come here? The young man was standing in front of none of other than Indore's youngest ACP, ACP Mayank Sharma. He had already solved many big cases and had a good reputation in the police force. Mayank Sharma said sternly, Jia, why do you think I have come here? If I had not come, you would have beaten up a half a person by now. There was an expression of anger on his strong face. In the past 1 month, she had received one more 10 complaints. The complaints were all about the lady police officer Jia Shekhawat beating up by people. The name of the policewoman who was interrogating Samar was Jia Shekhawat. Jia Shekhawat stood up and said to Mayank Sharma, wrinkling her cute nose, ACP sir, his name is Samar and he has been involved in wrongdoings at the young age. I beat such people for their on good so that they will think 100 times before committing any mistake in future. Mayank waved his hand and said to Jia, Okay, now do one thing. Let him go. But Jia, wrinkling her nose, said, But ACB Mayank, we can't let him go. He has broken the law and he should be put in jail. It is clear that Jia Sikhav did not want to let Summer go easily. Even though her boss had talked to her, she was still adamant on putting him in jail. Mayank Sharma frowned a little and said in a worried tone, Jia, Kiara Agarwal, the CEO of Agarwal Industry, has already paid his bail. Release him. Zia's mouth opened in surprise and she said to him in surprise, "What? Kiara Agarwal has paid his bail? But why?" She was stunned to know this. What nonsense. Kiara Agarwal was Indore's number one beauty, the CEO of Agarwal Industries, and a project businesswoman. She did not understand Samar was a small employee of the company. Then why has the CEO of the company come to save him? Even though Zia was confused. But since what ACP Menk had said must be true, she will have to leave Samar now, even if she does not want to. Samar looked at Zia and said, "Inspector, is your name Zia Shekhawat? I will always remember you." He was very interested in this beauty policeman. But Zia stared at him and said, "Hmm, don't fall into my hands again. Otherwise, no one will be able to save you from me." There was an angry expression on her face, and she was staring angrily at Summer standing in front of her. Just then, ACP Menk asked Summer to leave. But before leaving, Summer took the note of Suhani which he found while walking on the road. He took that note out of his pocket and placed it on a table in the front of Inspector Jia and said, "Inspector Jia, this is the Suhani's help note. She was kidnapped. I picked up her letter, so I want to save her. You can ask her." Summer was confident that this note would clean the stain on his name. After that, he come out of the police station. Outside, Kiara Agarwal was standing next to a BMW. Angry, her expressions was cold. She was feeling embarrassed that her husband had gone to a place like Kalspa. When Samar was caught, the police immediately contacted Agarwal Industries. Because of that, Kiara already knew. Even though Kiara disliked Samar, he was her husband. She was afraid that Samar might tell on her about their relationships. So, to prevent him from doing so, she had to personally bail him out. When Samar came out, Kiara looked at him coldly. Her eyes filled with disappointment. Kiara got in the car, turned his the key, and flew, leaving him on the roadside. Summer sighed as he saw the car speed away and muttered, "Ah, she did not even give me a chance to explain." He wanted to explain to Kiara that he went to the cold spa to save someone, but Kiara did not give him a chance to draw it. "I guess I will have to walk home today too," he muttered and touched his empty wallet. He did not have money to hire a cab. He could only walk home. Thankfully, he was not far from home. He walked fast and within 30 minutes, he was back at villa number 13. But the doors of the villa were locked from inside. It was clear that Kiara was angry with him and was refusing to let him in the house. He was rejected right outside the door. Summer sat on the stairs in front of the door with a bitter smile. Sadness pressed on his face. His family had abandoned him in his childhood. When he finally got married, his wife also left him. He was feeling very lonely and depressed. Why did he get married? Apart from following his grandfather's last wishes. He also wanted to live a peaceful life. But now he was thrown out of the house by his own wife. He was speechless. He had decided that if Kiara did not open the door for him today, he would ask for a divorce from Kiara tomorrow, so that both of them could be free from the forced relationship. Inside the house, Kiara was in her room and her pretty face was filled with anger. From the window, she was watching the cold wind blowing and she knew that it was very cold. She knew that no one can stay outside in such cold. Many times she thought of opening the door for Summer came out to the living room. But as soon as she remembered the Summers had gone to the place like Kalspa during the girls' circle, she would get angry again. In the end, she would not open the door. She sat on the couch in the living room and slowly fall asleep. The next day, when Kiara woke up, she saw that she had fallen asleep on the couch at night. She sat up from the couch and washed her face. She wanted to eat, but she found that the fridge was empty. Her housekeeper Maya was not there, so the house was slowly running out of food. When Kiara could not find anything to eat, she opened the door of the villa to go out, and as soon as she opened the door, she froze in place, seeing the view outside. Panic appeared in her eyes. She thought that now that she had not opened the door, Summer must have gone to a hotel for a night, but she had forgotten. Summer had no money in his pocket. How could he go to the hotel? Yes, she disliked this man, but he was her husband. He had closed the door in her face and forced her to stay out in the cold for a night. Whatever it was her fault. Just then, Summer looked at the sky and said softly, not looking at Kiara, I think we should get a divorce. Her voice was cold and devoid of emotions. He was shivering with cold. He was completely disappointed with Kiara. He had not expected that this his wife would force him to spend the night in the cold. Now, when their relationship had reached such a painful stage, it did not make sense them to stay together. They should separate. Divorce? Kiara thought she had heard wrong. This man said he wanted a divorce. That was she wanted too. She had wanted a divorce from Summer since day one. But when Summer said those words, she shed mixed feeling. It was here to tell if she was happy or sad. Yet Kiara immediately agreed to the divorce. She said without any emotions. I agree, but since you went to a notorious place like Kalspa yesterday, even if we get a divorce, you will not get a single penny. She had clearly misunderstood Samar. Moreover, he refused to give her a single penny, which made her want to end this marriage without any hassle. Samar said in a cold voice, okay, we will take the divorce tomorrow till itself, and walked out. He knew he went to Krikspa to save someone, but clearly Kiara misunderstood him. Kiara did not even give him a chance to explain anything and directly closed the doors on his face. Did he still need to explain? Obviously not. Now that he had already decided to take a divorce, there was no need to explain. He asked for time till tomorrow for the divorce because he had to resign his job in the company today. Both Ira Mahajan and Prachi Desai had treated him well. He did not want to go without saying anything. He wanted to say goodbye to them before leaving the company. After walking for about half an hour, when he reached the sales department of Agarwal Industry, he heard a flurry of discussions. A few people were standing and talking about him. One of them said, did you hear? That new guy Samar went to the Kalspa yesterday, but the police caught him. Another one asked excitedly, really? Who did you hear it from? First replied, Manager Parnoj said so. Why would he lie? It must be true. The other one said, I didn't expect him to say this. That guy looks so handsome. I did not think he would be like this. He should be fired for doing a such thing. This discussion was going on among 10, 12 people of the sales department. Their voices were full of disdain. Agarwal Industries was a big company and gave a lot of importance to a character of its employee. Once an employee broke the rule, he would be fired from the company. When Samar reached the sales department, he naturally heard their discussion, but he did not want to understand anything. What was going on tomorrow? Who will trust Samar? What will happen the next? Stay tuned with the Sukoon FM English to find out. If you enjoy it, please share, like, and comment in the below comment section.